Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of My Favorite Games. This time I am talking about Friday the 13th on PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox One. Now I'm actually playing this on PlayStation 4, and I should say I played this on PlayStation 4 because I'm doing this My Favorite Games a little bit differently here. I'm actually talking over pre-recorded footage from just last night's game session with friends, and I'm choosing to do it this way because normally when I'm doing these, I like to play along and kind of narrate as I go, but for this one, I like to be on mic talking to teammates, and you also have to listen to audio cues and things like that, and it can be really hard to say what I want to say for the sake of the video while I'm also trying to play the game and not get killed. So I just thought I would go a little easier on myself this time. I absolutely love this game, which is why I wanted to do the video on it. I know that there's quite a bit of negative press out there on it due to the server issues that it had at launch and sometimes continues to have, as well as some of the glitches and cheats that players have exploited. Luckily, a lot of that has been addressed and patched, so that's great. Personally, I haven't had that much of a negative experience with it in terms of those issues. It's been largely positive for me. You know, limited issues with connectivity. I've only encountered a handful of people cheating here and there. It didn't seem quite as rampant in my experience. So, you know, I want to talk about the game honestly and from my perspective, and that's been a really good positive one, right? So I don't want to focus too much on the issues that the game has. Because there's plenty of other places to go find that info. So, and yeah, you'll kind of hear my audio from last night as I'm talking to my teammates in the background here, if you're wondering why I'm doubled up. But anyway,
I collect two things: knives and belt buckles.
Cracking jokes. I don't really collect those things. Yeah. So for this video, I'm going to be kind of talking over the footage and trying to explain what's happening, which I think will put it into perspective for viewers, so you'll kind of understand why I'm having so much fun with it. It's not just as simple as like saying, well, here's how the game works, here are the rules, right? Like,
which car's over here by
I think if you see it in action, and you know somebody's kind of telling you what's happening, you'll understand why it's so unique, in my opinion, and why there's so much fun to be had here. I really think that this is a special game, and it's quickly found its way into my heart, and I just think it's great. I think more people should give it a shot. I know that they're going to continue to support the game. They've got plans for additional content down the road, including a single-player content edition, which will be free for people who already bought the game, so that's really cool. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show the game off and talk about it a little bit, so let's do that. This is the early part of the game. Match started not that long ago, and this is actually my favorite part of every match. There's this initial scramble when you first get started. And what I mean by that is you got to get to a cabin as quickly as you can and just start rummaging through drawers, start looking through closets and rooms and see what you can find that's useful, because the things that you need to win the round or to live are in those cabins. So you have this time where Jason isn't quite as powerful yet, because with every match he starts out with just one ability where he can teleport across the map. And then as time goes on, he gets 3 more abilities, and each ability makes him a little bit more efficient in terms of his ability to kill off the counselors and stuff. So right now he's at his weakest, and I'm running around trying to find the car battery or some gas for the car or the boat. You know, there's a boat propeller that you got to find out there that you have to put on the motor. And then there's a fuse for the power box for the telephone at one of the houses, right? So if you find that fuse, you want to run over there, repair the box, and then go make a call to... He just cut the power to the area in the footage here. So all the lights went out in the cabin, and I'll talk about why that matters in a minute. But yeah, you can call the police, and then if you can call the police, then instead of having the round last 20 minutes, it could potentially be over in 5 minutes, right? Or usually the cops come in anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes, depending on your character's abilities. Sometimes, if you have the right perk equipped, you can cut down on the time it takes for them to respond considerably. So maybe there's 10 minutes left in the game or 15 minutes left in the game, but somebody called the cops. So now all you've got to do is run to one of the 2 exits where the police will appear, and then that will cut down the length of the game considerably, right? So that's how you escape. And then if Jason tries to follow you over by where the cops are, the cops literally put him down, which is awesome to see. And then he just gets right back up again. So, not an elaborate cutscene or anything like that. It's just like you see gunfire come from the area where the cop cars are parked, and Jason, will either get stunned or fall over, and then like do that thing where he sits up like the Undertaker. But anyway.
My dad's a cop.
The match that's on the screen right now is a few minutes in now, probably about 4 or 5 minutes in, and it's starting to get to the point where he is getting more dangerous, right? So he's getting strong enough to really quickly zip around all over the map and kill us off. And if you're out there running in the woods, then it's especially dangerous because he has an ability called Shift, where he just kind of speeds forward really quickly. He disappears. It's almost like kind of like a Dracula turning into mist sort of thing. Just you don't see the mist. He just kind of disappears. You see these VHS tracking effects that they put on to kind of like goof up the screen a little bit so that the player doesn't see him disappearing. Right? It's very supernatural looking. It's very cool the way that they pull it off. It doesn't sound that cool the way I'm describing it, but if you see it, it makes a lot of sense, and I think it's really well done. But anyway, the cops have been called in this match, so we're about 4 minutes out from them arriving. I don't know if I don't remember if I made it out in this one or not, but we'll hang out and watch. I keep checking my map to see what my teammates are doing. It looks like I've got a few of them out there. You can also check and see how many people. You can see how many people are alive. So if you know that you're the last person, then you really know he's going to be zoning in hard on you. But yeah, let's see how this plays out. I think right now I'm just still looking for anything useful. You can see in the lower left corner I'm carrying 2 first aid sprays and a pocket knife. The pocket knife is useful because if Jason picks you up, he can initiate like an instant kill, where you go into an animation where he, does some kind of Mortal Kombat-esque fatality maneuver on you. But the pocket knife is an auto escape for that. So before he can do that, oh, there's the VHS stuff I was talking about. So he's really close by. He warped in really close. And I'm just running. I can't see him on the map or the radar. Just know I gotta run. But anyway, yeah, the pocket knife, you stick it in his neck automatically, and then you get away from his grip, and you can kind of sprint away again. It's also good for disabling the bear traps that Jason puts down on the map. There's a lot of little intricacies to this game that keep it fun and interesting and keep it really fresh. There's a lot going on here. It's
30 seconds out, but just go use the car anyway because he's over here and you'll zoom by him if
yeah, here I'm trying to throw Jason off with what I was talking about just there. He's coming for me, right? You can see him busting down the door. I'm waiting here by this window because I know he can't follow me out the window. So he tried to get to me, he couldn't. I made it out the window. I said I know the cops are 30 seconds away. When I was talking to my teammates there over the mic, but honestly, if you look up in the in the upper left corner rather, you can see they're 1:45 away. But Jason doesn't get that countdown like I do. He doesn't get that on his screen. So he gets an audio cue when the cops are initially called. Like he'll hear like walkie-talkie chatter or whatever, cop radio chatter, but he doesn't have, unless he like starts a stopwatch or something on his phone, he isn't gonna know how far away the cops are. So I said 30 seconds, hoping maybe maybe he would just teleport to one of the two exits and leave me alone, and I could buy some time. But clearly he didn't fall for it. Because I guess I should explain too, the idea here is that when Jason's close by, he can hear anybody that's nearby, right, talking. So while you're all using walkie-talkies and stuff to talk to each other and say, you know, hey, I got the battery for the car, or, you know, meet me over by the boat or whatever, Jason can't hear any of that unless he's right next to one of you, but, you know, or within range. He doesn't have to be right next to you. So you want to try and use misinformation. Ah, and he got me here. But there's the pocket knife I talked about, right? So I got it. Trying to get in the window here. I escaped his grip. I now just have a medical spray. Trying to hide from him in the house. The cops are really 20 seconds out now this time, for real. So hopefully pick up a weapon here. I've got a machete.
Can't help but take this a little personally, man.
That's me talking to Jason, because he's been following me this whole time. Okay, cops are here. Now I gotta check the map and I have to see what part did they go to. And he just left. You can tell he left because of the VHS tracking and the music stopping, right? So he's got an ability where he can just turn off the music for a little bit and make you think he's left, but if you don't see the VHS tracking, then you know it's not real, and he's just using that ability. Maybe. Anytime he teleports near or away from you, you get that tracking thing. So it kind of makes it so you can't actually see it happen, but you know it did. It's one of those things. It's easier to see. Like when you saw him appear next to me at the window back there. You know, rewind the video a little bit, and you'll see what I'm talking about a little better than I can actually describe it. So right now I've checked my map, I know where the cops are going, and I'm making my way to that exit. Slowly, I'm crouch walking right now because you can see around my little mini map in the corner there's that red semicircle. That is my stamina, and it's about halfway drained. It just kind of slowly drains as you jog, but if you crouch walk it will regenerate, and you'll also move more silently, more quietly. So, because every time you're walking or running around, you're setting off little audio cues to Jason. Some characters way more than others, depending on stats and things like that. Some are more stealthy, some are more powerful. So I'm getting close.
He can see you when he's in rage mode, no matter how low your fear is.
Yeah, I'm advising one of my teammates there.
I think.
Somebody was trying to hide in one of the homes and they didn't understand why Jason could find them. But it looked like Jason just gave up because I saw him on the mini-map just now. And I'm about to get out of here. There we go, I just made it. I got to where the cops are. You can see my character running off there. You can see the flashing lights. And there's the cops shooting at Jason. He got too close to the exit. And now he just kind of walks off. He's got one more counselor that you can kind of see coming on the left side here. She's just got to make it to that spot just ahead where it's foggy and you can see the bridge covering. He's got a couple of abilities. He might be tapped out though. Yeah, she made it. You saw.
Nice.
He hit her with a throwing knife as she was getting away, but she still made it out of there. So, all right. So I'm gonna visit another video now. More footage.
Oh shit!
This also from last night. Now right here, I'm on the run, and you can see that it's much darker, and it's because my character is freaked out. When you get scared, your character has a hard time, I guess, seeing, right? So like you lose track of your mini-map, you lose track of which items you're carrying. Your character is just freaked
really
out.
Up on bothering me over here at the car. He just kind of doesn't want to give up.
Yeah, that's me talking to my teammates there, letting them know that Jason's following me at this house. and that gives them time. Because if he's bothering me, he's not bothering them, and therefore they can be
Also,
gassing up the car or
box is over here in this same house, really close to the car.
Or putting in a battery or something like that, right? Like they could be doing any number of things as long as they've got Jason off their back. So that's why it's useful to kind of let them know, hey, he's over here with me. Sometimes you can even call out what part of the map you're on, like, hey, I'm in, you know, Blair's Cove or whatever, Higgins Pass or whatever the hell area you're you're in. And I think what I'm going to do here, if I remember right,
we do.
I get the keys, and then I lie to get Jason to leave me alone. I make it seem like he's gonna, like my teammates are doing something that he needs to go attend to.
Okay, yeah, you guys might pull it off without me then, because he's busting through my door.
See, and there's the VHS tracking. The music drops out, so he left.
I think he left. I think I fed him misinformation and he bought it. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm so happy. There's a car parked right outside of this cabin, right? So I knew, since I found the keys in that drawer just a bit earlier.
I'm dropping the keys by here. Also, my repair is shit, so I haven't installed anything, but the battery, the gas, all of it's here. It's all trapped like a motherfucker, though.
Again, me talking to teammates.
Okay, I got the gas out of a trap.
Notice the little piles of leaves.
Battery out of it too.
Those are bear traps that Jason puts down and covers up, so I've got the items here.
You don't need the knives, I got the stuff out of the traps.
He did a smart thing putting down traps by that stuff, but it wasn't lined up perfectly, so I was able to grab them out of the traps without setting them off. But yeah, so right here you'll notice I've got a car. It seats 4 people. We've got battery, keys, and gas. That's all 3 components. Here come my teammates. So we're going to be trying to keep Jason distracted long enough to get all that stuff installed, get the car started, and get the hell out of here. So you can see them. One character just put in the gas. Another one is kind of watching the front of the car. They're putting in the battery now.
Oh my god! What happened?
Okay. Here, I got the shotgun. Somebody want to pick up that machete I just put down?
I'm not quite sure where Jason went while this was happening, because we were all right here, and now that I'm watching this for the second time, I mean, I can see him right there.
Go, 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 he's right next to you!
He can yank.
Got caught in a trap back there, they're probably boned.
He can yank you out of the car if he gets up right next to the door. But clearly he didn't pull that off this time, because we've got a car with 3 people pulling out of there. And I can't look around or anything here since I'm not controlling the game, and this is older footage, but or previous footage rather from the night before. But I think there's obviously the driver, and I think there's one person in the back seat. And here he teleported to get up the road from us. If he can get in front of the car and we accidentally drive into him.
Mouse game of backing up, making him chase you.
Yeah, if he gets in front of the car or behind it while it's moving in the direction toward him, he stops the car. He kind of slams down on the hood or on the rear bumper or whatever, and the car comes to a halt and you have to restart it, which takes like, you know, 5 seconds, maybe 6 seconds, which feels like an eternity when he's right there next to everybody, you know, picking people up and choking them and stuff. So what we're trying to do now is make sure that he doesn't get the car stopped. I should also note that it's really hard to drive the car. I think, anyway. Some people are better at it than others. Super Pack here, who's driving right now,
nice.
Clearly a seasoned pro because he can go forward or reverse. And since I'm not the driver, I can't see behind the car, but when you're backing up, you can see behind you. So he's not doing this blind, but it's still impressive. So right now we're just in kind of this back and forth thing where Jason knows we're trying to get out of the main road.
By the way,
because you can go in either direction and you'll escape, right?
Oh shit!
he just knows that he's got to stop us from getting too far down the road on either end, because we can just drive out of the map and escape, and then we're gone. But we also know that his powers are on a cooldown, so if he teleports, you know you got like 30 seconds until he can do it again. Unless he's got like a special Jason that's better at teleporting, maybe he can do it a little sooner. But generally, you know you've got at least like 20 seconds, right? And the thing where he moves forward really quickly and disappears, that thing is on a cooldown timer also.
He might be trying to use shift to get behind us.
Yeah, so I'm just commenting on that now in the game, and I think we're going to just back up out of here because we knew that he used shift. He might have one other teleport left,
Is
but...
there a spot in the back seat?
Yeah, he just teleported again, as you can see on the mini-map. But it's too late, we got by. And you can tell I'm just thrilled. I'm so happy we made it out of there. And now it comes down to spectating our friend here, who's the last survivor. He didn't make it into the car. But what's interesting about Pizza here is he's wearing a sweater, but it's not just a sweater that you equip on the character. It's literally the sweater from Jason's mom. So you have to go to Jason's shack somewhere on the map. It warps around, or rather, it spawns in different places each game. So it's not ever in like the same exact location every time. So he had to go find that shack, he had to go put the sweater on, and now what that'll do for him is when Jason gets close, he can hit a button where he basically pretends to be his mom and talks to him, says, Jason, put down the weapon, right? And that will buy him or teammates or, you know, whoever's around, it will buy them some time because Jason will kind of be stunned. He'll hold up his weapon and not be sure what to do for a moment. And it also comes into play if you want to actually try to kill Jason. You can have another character. There's a special counselor, Tommy Jarvis, which is actually in line with how it goes down in the movies. He's like the one character I think in the movies that actually kills Jason at one point, and so the game respects that and makes it so that if you want to try and kill Jason, you have to have that character do it. And you need the sweater that Pizza here is wearing. Here he's got a pocket knife. See, and Pizza's gonna try to run here after Jason gets that knife out of his neck. But yeah, you got to have your counselors work together to put down Jason, I guess is what I was trying to say. Somebody has to get the sweater. It's got to be a female. And then Tommy Jarvis has to have a machete on him. And you knock Jason's mask off, you stun him with the sweater, and then Tommy Jarvis hits him with the machete.
Frying pan?
Mother is talking to you. Put the weapon down and come to mommy.
Ah, okay.
So that was good use of the sweater right there. Since Pizza's the last one alive, right? No, he can't work with anybody to kill Jason, obviously. He's just got to buy time. He's got just under 3 minutes remaining. He's just got to run out the clock, try to survive, try not to get killed. And he's doing a really good job of running here. I remember why I picked this video now. It's because he does such an excellent job of evading Jason. This is pro tier evasion, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, I got to give it up to Pizza here. Because again, he's the last counselor alive. Everybody else is either dead or has escaped. So Jason's got nobody else to focus on. So Pizza's using every trick in the book that he has here, and I think he's got a baseball bat here, which is I think the best weapon for stunning Jason. He's gonna try and hit him with it.
Why won't you fucking die?
Little janky right there, because he got him kind of halfway into the door, but it worked. It stunned him. It gave him the time he needed to get up the stairs here. Now he's gonna shut and lock the door. I didn't understand this.
That thing, dude.
Yeah, I didn't understand that the first time I saw this. He's got the door shut and locked. He's going to jump out the window here the moment Jason comes through.
He's got a health spray.
Jason can't go out the window after him. So he's got to run all the way back down the stairs, right? Maybe use one of his teleports, which is what Pizza's trying to bait him into doing. There he is. That's his cue to run. Nice. Takes a little bit of damage from that, but he's he's got the health spray there, so he knew he was gonna have to do that. He's gonna run back around again and basically just rinse repeat kind of thing here.
Repeat, huh?
Yeah, I guess that's what I said last night too. He's just gonna kind of keep running around this place and using the close quarters to his advantage, because it's hard for Jason to use that teleport. He's got under a minute to go here. Right back into the house. Stunned him again with the bat.
Run!
And this is so exciting to watch at the time because he's so close, right? Like, he's 30 seconds out here. We didn't know if he was going to pull it off, but he's been doing this for 3 minutes now on his own. It's looked really good. And here he just sits. He just waits. He just lies in wait to ambush him. He's got a frying pan, another good stun weapon.
Yeah, this is pretty epic. Oh, there he is. Oh, no!
But he's got another pocket knife.
Nice.
Now he's got the frying pan. He's got 5 seconds left on the clock. He's going to make it.
That was epic.
Yes, it was. That was epic. Good job on pizza there. So all that footage should give you an idea of what makes this so exciting, why it's so much fun. You saw some coordination there between me and teammates, right? We all worked together to get that car going. Jason must have had an accidental teleport or just some kind of critical mistake in his strategy there, because we were able to get that stuff installed in the car and then started just in the nick of time while he was running up to the window there. We got out. And then the one player who didn't get in the car, Pizza, managed to get out. So, you know, crazy. It just goes to show, while Jason's super overpowered, smart players can rally and utilize a lot of things to their advantage and make it out of the game.
That's my good boy. Mommy has a reward for you. Come home, sweetie.
And I love that audio of Jason's mom talking at the end there. I love how they split the left and right audio channels for her laughing. I appreciate little details like that. But the game has really good atmosphere, and hopefully you'll see that and kind of pick up on that. If you haven't played the game before and you're just watching this and you're kind of curious about it, you at least get that from watching here. It's dripping with atmosphere, and they do so many things really well with the whole vibe that the game puts off. I really like it. I adore it. I haven't really played anything that feels quite like this. And here, right off the bat in this game, I've got Jason teleporting near me.
He's pretty close to Springwater Camp.
And I don't have a map yet, but I can see on my mini-map there, on my little radar, that it says Springwater Camp, so I can at least tell my people who started with a map or found a map, and I guess here I'm getting one now. But I can at least tell them, hey, he's over here. So other awesome little details that this game does. That Kiki Mama thing that you heard just there, every time you hear that, Jason gets a little bit stronger. So there's a purpose to having that play that audio in the background, which I think is really cool. All the little things, like you can turn on a radio inside of a cabin to distract Jason. So if he's using his sense ability and he's looking for little audio cues that lead him to the counselors, he won't be able to distinguish the radio from a regular counselor. So he'll go check that out. And not only that, but what's really cool is the music on the radios is real licensed music. So for example, the Misfits Friday the 13th track is one of the songs that plays on the radio, and I love that one. I think it's so cool. And they didn't have to do that. They could have just had generic whatever music on there, but they went the extra mile and did a lot of really cool little, you know, things that real fans, I think, would be into and appreciate. They really try to do right by the license.
Oh shit. No. Phone box is here at Springwater Camp. And so is he.
And I just ran through a trap. which Jason will get an audio cue to let him know that I got snared in one of his traps, and then if he can look on the map, he'll actually see where he laid his traps. And you can see it's starting to get a little darker.
Oh, you son of a bitch. No door, you can't break my head open in it.
And there I am, just kind of acknowledging that one of the special kills isn't available to him. The door has been ripped off that cabin, so he couldn't slam my head in it. He just dumped me on it instead. Alright, so that's Friday the 13th. Clearly, I absolutely love it. Definitely going to be one of my top games of 2017. And honestly, one of my favorite horror experiences ever. I've just been having so much fun with this. I keep wanting to come back to it. It's all I've been wanting to play, really. And it just stays exciting and interesting every time. So, give this one a try if you haven't already, because I really think there's something special here, and I can't wait to see what the developers have in store for the future. Alright, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.